The learning curve in a handheld robot, it's very important. So what is the learning curve? A learning curve is a process which people develop a skill by learning from their mistakes. The more mistakes we do, the more we learn. So what are the types of learning curve? Is the individual, the surgeon, he learns first how to use the robot. Then he teaches his team, the nurses, the staff. That is organizational learning curve. The basic of joint replacement surgery, that is usually the TKR, you should know the conventional TKR in and out. If you do not know the conventional TKR in and out, it will be very difficult for you to handle this modern technology. So number of surgeries you do is equal to the mistakes done, is equal to the experience added to, and the knowledge achieved. And that is what is the learning process. You should know all the measurements around the knees, hips, axis, everything, and how they behave in varus knees, valgus knees, and all other things. Phenotyping of the knee, this is a newer thing. That is the CPAC classification. You should know this before you use the robotic surgeries or before you do any of this. If you do not know, if you are not able to do this phenotyping of the knee, patients will not be happy post-surgical. You should know, you should be a technology lover. You should be able to use the technology. You should be able to draw the axis over the knees, weight-bearing, over the weight-bearing x-rays, the angles, the resections, and everything. Though you have the modern technology, you should well understand how the deformity corrections in a conventional methods, this should not be forgotten. To use a handheld robot, it is always said that you have to be a very good arthroscopy surgeon so that you can have that hand, eye, and monitor coordination. But I feel that all orthopedic surgeon, the trauma surgeon, they can put the K-wires and the distal nail locking screws by looking into the C-arm. So they already have some amount of that handheld coordinations. All orthopedic surgeons have had handheld coordinations. Does not need to be an arthroscopy surgeon to master a handheld robot. So this is how the handheld robot works. You have to look into the screen while you are resecting with the burr, and that is how the handheld coordinations. You should also know that how the flexion and extension gap will behave. If you flex the femoral component, if you extend the femoral component, put it into varus, valgus, if you do all various types of changes into the orientation of the component, how the gaps are behaving. So you should be very well versed with it. You should also know what is this alignments, kinematic, adjusted mechanical, and all others. These are some of the papers which are based on the time-based learning curves of the robotic total knee. It has shown that at least 15 cases the surgeon should do before he improves his learning curve. This is another paper, that learning curve of robotic assisted total knee arthroplasty in a non-fellowship trained orthopedic surgeon. They have quoted that at least 40 robotic assisted so that he improves his operative time. The learning curve of an imageless robot while doing laxity check is also same. Robotic arm assisted total knee arthroplasty. In this, the learning of 16 cases they have mentioned. And the most important thing is that the polyethylene inset sizing, that also has to be one of the things which some of the robotic arm assisted technology doesn't have. The learning curve in a robotic total knee arthroplasty or systemic Review also tells about nearly a completion of 14 cases, then slowly the operative time increases. Thank you all for this opportunity. Thank you.